going to discuss about the basic techniques of recombinant DNA technology. By definition, we can understand recombinant DNA technology as a very wonderful tool of genetic engineering where we perform isolation, identification, insertion of a gene of interest into a required vector, that is a vehicle, to produce the gene of interest into a very productive thing. A very good example of a modern recombinant DNA technology is production of humulin, that is the insulin produced of human being synthesized inside a bacterial cell. The basic technique behind this production of humulin is divided into following 5 steps. The first step is identification, isolation of gene of interest from any organism and then combining it into a suitable vector. For identification and isolation, we can go through the genomic library, through the cDNA library, we can synthesize a gene, or we can perform a PCR chain reaction for multiplication of a gene. And the next step is formation of recombinant molecule. For production of recombinant DNA molecule, what we do is we just take a gene of interest from the required cell or the organism and vector from the bacterial cell. Later on, both the DNA as well as the vector cut through a same restriction enzyme and then it is ligated through a ligase enzyme. The next step for that is step 3, that is introduction of a recombinant molecule into a host cell. What we done is we just synthesized a recombinant molecule. But what is the need of this molecule if this will not be multiplied or copied and not be further processed? For this process, this recombinant DNA molecule should be introduced into a suitable host that will carry forward all the process for the multiplication of the recombinant molecule what we have synthesized artificially. For insertion of this recombinant molecule into a host bacterium, we can use different techniques like electroporation, microinjection, liposome mediated method or polyethylene glycol mediated method. All these methods have been designed so friendly that we can use them into a very common genetic engineering lab. After insertion of this recombinant molecule inside a host cell, the next step is we have to identify whether this has been multiplied to desired product or not. For that, what a bacterial cell leads to grow on a bacterial medium and then the colonies of identified required product isolated easily from that. For that, in this petri dish we can easily see that 2 types of colonies are visible here. One is a transformed cell, that is in a red color, and another is a non-transformed cell, which means the host bacterium did not uptaken the required gene and it is just using its own machinery and it is just a normal bacterial cell, not a transformed cell. So we have to isolate a transformed cell from a non-transformed cell. For this method, for this purpose, we can use several methods, like one is antibiotic sensitivity, where what we do is for this recombinant molecule, antibiotic is also added so that it will appear in a antibiotic sensitivity experiment, and those colonies, those have a antibiotic in their vector form will grow on the medium only. Another is the visible characteristic, which is very clear from this diagram, that those colonies which are red, we will take only the colonies, that is the desired product only. Another one is the bloating technique, and last one is the colony hybridization. All these methods are just meant to identify that whether our experiment is successful or not. The next very step is the isolation of the gene product. The bacterium has multiplied the desired our gene of interest. But DNA is just put into a transcription, and then translation process is done for later on that we isolate the protein of interest. So the whole gist of the work is that we want to introduce a very innovative or a very fruitful gene into a host or a bacterium, so that which can be used for the welfare of the mankind. A lot of work since 1942 till date has been done, and these laboratories are gaining a very reputation in the field of biotechnology. Thank you.